If there's one thing I love in my Toku shows, it's civilian fights. And let me tell you, episode 13 of Geats was not short of that. It's a nerd named Mark, and I'm about to review episode 13 of Kamen Rider Geats. And some of the cool things we got, uh, because there was less actual Kamen Rider in the rider forms in this, and it was more just straightforward civilian fighting Jamato Riders. Uh, in the beginning of the episode, we got some more build up and more exposition to this whole story between Ace and Garori and the Game Master. Ace even asked him why the Game Master wants him to lose. And Garori even says, I don't know why. I'm just a concierge after all. And I was like, come on now. Uh, that some point when Ace finds out the identity of the Game Master, we are going to get some great scenes out of that when it happens. And I'm all for it. I cannot wait for that to happen. Uh, and one of the main points too that even I was thinking about is like Ace even says, it's like, but he saved the world multiple times, and honestly, that should be what the game master wants, right? And it's like that's a valid question, but obviously, if there's secrets in the DGP, which we don't know what all the secrets are, but we know there are secrets. That obviously there's more to this. I'm still starting to get to the point where I'm like, maybe there wasn't an alien invasion. I really don't think it's the way it was explained in episode 2 by Sumire. I don't think that's the case at all. And even then, we get more Sumire, as I mentioned, her story of her standing with the DGP and her thoughts on this. Obviously, she is not on board with this because while the Game Master and Punk Jack are talking, you know, uh, the Game Master even says, like, Ace, with his winning, he's getting into more of their secrets. He's uncovering things he shouldn't. And even Sumire says, that's, isn't it not fair for them to be doing this? And then Punk Jack mentions how, well, if Ace loses, how his memories are erased. But this kind of contradicts, in my opinion, Ace's previous wish, where as long as he's alive, he's in the DGP, unless they mean him getting eliminated by him being defeated by Jamato and not just retired. So I'm just like, I don't feel like that's after we see what Kawa's wish is for everyone who's been taken, defeated, and whatnot by the Jamato to be returned. I feel like that is the seed planted for Ace to get actually eliminated, but I'm not sure. I'm curious. Like, so many like threads are going right now and subplots, and I'm just like, man, I just want to see where this is gonna go because right now I am thoroughly entertained and just yeah, it's so good and I'm really enjoying it. Um, and we even got more of our nice Jamato Gardener with the GM having a conversation. He even asked, "Why are you letting the Jamato use desire drivers?" And he's like, "No, they're learning on their own, and these Jamato they're smarter than we give them credit for." And then he's like, "Hey, but the stronger they are, the more fun they are for the Kamen Rider fight, right? I mean, uh, and you know, he just hangs up on him. The GMs, obviously, there's something going on with their damn. Like, there's so many moving parts for the actual DGP side of things. Like, this guy's growing Jamato, but we haven't figured out what his goals are or how this is possible. We got the Game Master basically being like, okay, the Jamato have gone rogue. They're doing whatever they, want. And he's trying to stop Ace at the same time. Um, I was just like, damn, like this. I want to know who's actually running the DGP because I don't feel like it's the Game Master. It's definitely not the Gardener. I feel like if there's a hierarchy, they're just right. Like the Gardener's down here, maybe with like Sumeri and the staff, and then it's the Game Master, and then whoever the Game Master answers to. And I'm just like, I like want to get a whiteboard and just piece the photos and like tie them all together with string and just be like, okay, this person there. Because trying to figure this out right now is been half the fun, even though we aren't getting all the information. Like, we don't know what the game is yet in the episode. That's just what it is. We see everyone in their daily lives. Ace is at a photo shoot wearing a very clean, like Royal Navy blue suit tux. Kawa finally got a job working at his soba shop that he loves so much. And then, Neon's actually confronting her dad about his knowledge of the DGP. And he says that's of no concern for her. She even asks, like, why did he make her a participant again? And he says there's things that are better left unsaid. And I'm just like, man, this is obviously the dad. Like, I was hoping we'd get a little more out of this scene just to kind of sprinkle some more of what he actually knows. But I get it. Not every subplot right now is going to be fully fleshed out and pushed forward. Uh, she, obviously takes her suitcase and leaves. Then at one point we even see Azuma going for a run. And I was really hoping we would see more stuff of his civilian life to build to his character because we really haven't in a while. But that being said, they're all doing these stuff. But they all come across this little girl in an oversized red hat that makes them feel off about something. They go to kind of check on her and see where she went, and they all drop their ID cords to their feet. And the one time this actually happens is, and no one knows really why, but Ace, when it happens, he actually confronts the girl and tells her it's not nice to steal things, and she has his desire driver. So she took all their desire drivers, and he even says, that she's a magician. Before all this, well, not before all this, like, he's fighting, he gets, his driver back, obviously. Jamato show up, he's fighting them, and, like, while he's fighting them, I don't, like, she obviously isn't, like, something's going on with her, because all she does is watch him smirk, and once again, his ID cord drops, and he dehensions, and she's holding the driver again, and just hands it to a Jamato, and we get some of my favorite civilian fighting in this, because, I skipped the whole part. I'm sorry. I apologize. The whole entire time, Punk Jack shows up in Henshin's and starts fighting Geats. He doesn't even care anymore about the rules because obviously the game master says stop Ace at any means, by any means necessary. So now he's fighting Ace, and they're fighting the Jamato. Then the Jamato are fighting Punk Jack, and once the Ace loses his driver and the Jamato gets it in Henshin's, Ace is now in civilian form fighting a Jamato Rider. Now, we know how powerful they are from the last couple, like the last episode with the maze, the last two episodes, anyways, of the maze. So he's getting his shit rocked, honestly. Getting his ass beat. And then the little girl even takes the driver from Punk Jack, and even he's just like, you don't have to take mine too. And unlike Ace, who stayed and fought, he dipped out. He ran. And Ace does the same and catches up to him. We find out the new game has started in the pre-game conditions where everyone had to get their drivers taken. So, obviously, round 3 is musical chairs. And instead of chairs, the drivers and their standings as a rider are the chairs. So, basically, if you retrieve your driver back, that's you sitting in a chair, basically. And when all the Jamato are defeated, whoever doesn't have their driver back is eliminated. So more than one person can get eliminated from this. And then those who have their drivers will qualify for the next round. Some cool things from the civilian standpoint. Sarah, Keiwa's sister, is at a shrine praying for Keiwa to find a good job. And she even notices the girl in red and with the red hat. And once again, I'm just like, okay, I like that she's being in more episodes, not as, like telling Keiwa, hey, you should find a job, or let's get your favorite noodles. She's kind of got these ties to the DGP ever since, a while ago when Keiwa was first tycoon and rescued her, or tried to rescue her when they were fighting the Kick the Can monster. So it's kind of cool to see that she still has some elements, and she keeps getting trapped in the game world. So I'm digging the interactions with Punk Jack and Ace when they're, not in the games, when they're in the lounge or this and that. Ace is tending to his wounds. He's got, cuts on his cheek and this and that. And Ace even brings up, he's like, you only made it this far because of the game master. And obviously, and he says making enemies of us, the participants, is the wrong call. And Punk Jack says, like, why are you risking your life for all of this? And doesn't even answer. And Ace follows up with, why do you not want me to win so badly? And I like these back and forth, between them, because I feel like they're building up to one or two things. Ace loses or Punk Jack turns on the game master. So those are like really the main two avenues of whatever's going on between those two. And because I brought up Sarah, noticing everything. Neon is live streaming, and she holds up a photo, a drawn photo of the girl with the red hat, and like, hey, if you know anyone, let me know. And people in the comment, they're saying it. Sarah's watching the stream, and she's like, oh, I seen her, and Kay was like, really? And she's like, yeah, by a shrine. So oddly enough, K1 Neon meet up. They are the first two to retrieve their drivers because Kaywa just, I love this new attitude of Kaywa. They're sneaking around watching them. He just runs in, starts fighting them, knocking them over, this and that, grabs two drivers, and him and Neon escape. And I'm just like, okay, I like this aggressive, non self doubting Kaywa who just wants to get shit done. Um, and I already mentioned in the beginning of the video, lots of civilian fighting. We had, uh, while Zuma was, walking, he saw the floating display that showed that Tycoon and Nago got their drivers. So he's like, oh, they got theirs. And next, he starts getting attacked by Jamato again. And then we see him, Ace, and Punk Jack all together fighting Jamato in civilian form. Love the fighting sequences. Azuma got the drip of the week, like the pants with the jacket. Like I was like, okay, I see Azuma now. He's got the drip. He's got the drip this season. He is too good. And on the fighting too, there was arm bars, there was judo throws, like all the choreographed fighting was so good and well put together. I was very impressed with it. Obviously, because they can Henshin, K1 and Neon show up. Zuma says he doesn't need them, and we get Ace saying, hey, sometimes you need people for help. Uh, this whole entire time this is going on, we see a new mysterious figure watching the screen, and he's watching all the fighting, and he's in like his own little like boardroom area by himself, or not by himself. There's a female with him who earlier in the show went up to Geats during his photo shoot and said, hey, I'm here to support you in any way you need. And at first I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those types, but I realized she is actually the assistant of this. He has a tablet and he sends a buckle to Ace, and I was like, okay, this is very very interesting. The way, so this guy coming in and sending a buckle to Ace, I'm just like, is very intriguing because um Ace gets the command buckle, the twin command buckle, or command twin buckle. I gotta get used to the name. And we see the GM saying on the screen, wait, how is this possible? That's not in rotation. So my thing is, okay, this mysterious figure has something else to do with the DGP. I don't know if he's on the same hierarchy level as the Game Master or if he's above it, but now we have a force within this whole organization that's actually on the side of Ace. And the funny thing is, and this is a good callback to episode 2, in my opinion, Ace gets the buckle, and he asks Kaywa to borrow the driver for 5 minutes because he plans on defeating the Jamato Rider, getting his buckle back. And he says that if he does this, he'll give him all his buckles after. And Kaywa agrees. And at first, I'm like, if this was earlier in the season, I wouldn't believe Ace at all. But after how their dynamic has grown, and the more we see Ace and his character kind of change to an extent, I actually believed him. And holy crap! All right, this command twin buckle. The first form, he just gets a sword, and the raising sword, and his helmet changes, and that's it. And the other buckle's attached to the sword. So as he's fighting all the Jamato, defeating him, this thing is filling up with energy. And when it was full, he pulled it down, and and it said it was full, and he was able to fully charge. He was able to take it off. And we got, I don't even know what to say. This thing, it's like the twin jet in cannon form, and that shit looked amazing. On top of that, we got some more seeds for Azuma and Punk Jack, where he says, I know a way for you to get a buckle. And I'm like, ooh, little scene right in the middle of fighting. Ace just mops the floor with the Jamato Rider. That was just the scenes, all the action sequences and the camera angles and how they were doing everything looked phenomenal in this episode. I loved it so much. And I said I was going to be done buying buckles. I bought most of the Legend Rider ones that have been released. I wasn't getting any of the big ones. Once I got the zombie buckle, I was done. And honestly, I kind of want this Command Twin buckle set. I really do. but I told myself I was going to wait and I was only going to get final form gimmicks only. But I may cave in and get this because it looks so good. And after that, Jamato's defeated, buckles on the ground. Ace gives the buckle and the driver and all the buckles that he has to Kawa, and Kawa's shocked and that he actually went through with it. And Azuma actually picks up the Desire Driver. And PJ says musical chairs is all about speed because you got to sit in the chair first. Uh, that was a really good episode. The main thing that really got me was the end when the GM and this mysterious man were talking. GM even says, "You send the buckle," and this mysterious guy's like, "Yeah, but you've been interfering with the games, haven't you?" And he says it's not true, and they're doing, and all the pushes are doing everything on their own, but he doesn't. But this guy doesn't believe it. And we end it with a new DGP rule. The ID cores are exclusive to each player, but the desired drivers can be used by anyone. Make sure not to lose yours. This episode was really good. I really enjoyed this. I think from the DGP standpoint, we're getting so much more to the plot without giving us a lot of new information to move it forward, but more moving parts being brought in. I really think Punk Jack's going to turn on the Game Master at some point. Obviously, Sumeri is getting more against it because she keeps questioning why. We got this new mysterious man. We got Neon's father. Still not any information on that regards, and the Gardener just being weird. But that was it for episode 13 of Kamen Rider Geats. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I got some other stuff in the works that I'm cooking right now, and I'm kind of excited to go in, now it's December, go into the new year. I got some restructuring I'm doing. I'm going to be changing how some things are done, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see when all those new videos and everything else come out. That being said, that's it for this review. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.